August looks pretty flush with very good-looking game releases, and I'm pretty excited to see how some of them come out. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, the top 10 new games of August 2020. Starting off at number 10, it is Windbound, a game about being shipwrecked on an island with some fairly obvious Breath of the Wild influences that I'm definitely not upset to see take root in the entire gaming world. In some respects, I feel like somebody said, "Aw man, I like Breath of the Wild, but I really wish there was more boats in it." Essentially, you have to use the island's resources and then build boats to go to other islands and use their resources, all while looking into the past of these islands via the ruins you'll find on them. And frankly, it looks like a great spin on the little sub-genre of open world game that Breath of the Wild has made, taking a little bit of influence from Wind Waker, with all the boating and islands and all that. With the little injection they give the survival mechanics, it sounds like a pretty intriguing title. Windbound is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, which is where I'll be playing it on August 28th. At number 9 is Hellbound. The campaign mode, anyhow. The survival mode has been out for quite a while. It's also free to play in case you're not willing to wait. But Hellbound is nothing like Windbound. It's an old school styled FPS with a couple of modern conveniences such as looking up and down and much better graphics. Hellbound is very, very much like Doom in pretty much every way, and it's kind of nice to have the more old school style straightforward gameplay, even though I love the two new Doom games. Giving Hellbound's survival mode a spin will definitely really hype you up. It's one of those games where you just feel really powerful playing, and I'm pretty stoked they're making a campaign mode. It's one of those things where it's just exactly what needs to happen. Hellbound's campaign is coming to PC August 4th. Like I said, survival mode has been out for quite a while. It's free. You can play it right now, and you should. At number 8 is Immortal Realms Vampire Wars, which sounds like it would probably be like a Diablo-style game. Nope. Immortal Realms is a strategy game, and I think that that is great. We do not have enough vampire strategy games, thank you very much. But on top of that, this game has a very nice, unique art style with lots of color and really manages to capture a sort of vampire-y, gothic, awesome vibe. But honestly, I'm just stoked about this game, personally. To give a little bit of information on how it plays, or at least how we understand it, obviously we haven't played it yet, it's turn-based and card-based. If you remember older, like, Might and Magic type games, that's sort of where it's drawing its inspiration. And just between the fact that it's a vampire version of that, a vampire strategy game, or just that genre at all is great. There's also some management elements of it, as you take blood from villages in order to power everything, because hey, vampires. Vampire management. Immortal Realms Vampire Wars is coming to PC August 28th. It looks very intriguing. At number 7 is a Total War Saga Troy, which, as you know, Total War is perhaps one of the biggest, most well-deserving of accolades strategy series out there. And they've taken on a lot of both fictional and non-fictional eras and conflicts. I think it's a lot of fun they're taking on Troy. It is, of course, the first Total War game set in the Bronze Age. We've talked a lot about Total War on this channel, but we haven't talked about this. This is going to be an Epic exclusive for a year, and it's a really good deal if you want Total War Saga Epic on day one, because for the first 24 hours on Epic Games Store, it's free. You can claim it and have it for free, and it's the full Total War Saga Troy. I think that's great. Say what you want about the Epic Store, but that's a pretty good deal for the consumer, a free game. I really enjoy the Total War Saga, and I will absolutely be claiming my free Troy version of that when it comes to PC on August 13th. At number 6 is Project Cars 3, which promises to go in a new direction. It's definitely more arcade looking to me than previous Project Cars games. I mean, there's some absolutely fantastic, beautiful graphics at play, but the racing we're looking at definitely has the vibe of a more arcade experience. And I'm okay with that. Like, I really enjoy arcade racing. I've noted that although I really enjoy simulation racing as well, I probably prefer arcade racing a bit. So I'm okay with this, obviously. Project Cars 3 is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on August 28th. At number 5 is Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, which we have of course already seen on PS4. The Complete Edition is now landing on PC though. I'd argue it probably has something to do with how successful the Death Stranding port was. And I don't mean sales-wise, I mean Horizon Zero Dawn runs on the same engine by Guerrilla Games. And to put it simply, both of these games look just beautiful on PC. And I'm really interested in playing Horizon Zero Dawn with the ability to customize the graphic settings. I mean, this is a beautiful game anyways, but playing it on PC with a lot more control over the graphics, I'm very excited and interested for. It's also, you know, a phenomenal game, perhaps one of the best examples of that kind of open world game. If you didn't play it on PS4, you should on PC. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition lands on August 7th. At number 4 is UFC 4, which we've heard some new information about from an interview with one of the devs, who talked a lot about how this game really does a lot with the clinch game, claiming that it's more fluid and more locomotion based. I mean, the way he describes it is, of course, very abstract. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what that means until we have our hands on it, but I'll say it sounds good to me. UFC is, of course, a pretty tightly controlled game, so to have it more based in locomotion and all that, I think should actually be a pretty good improvement. Obviously, we really haven't had a lot of sporting events this year, so a lot of the sport games like this are kind of really welcome, and I think is going to be fun for a lot of people. UFC 4 is coming to PS4 and Xbox One on August 14th. At number 3 is Serious Sam 4, which, I mean, obviously it's been a while since a Serious Sam game came out. Serious Sam 3 hitting Microsoft Windows on 2011. These are over-the-top games. There's no real way to put it other than that. You fight hordes of enemies with absurd, huge weapons, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. What we've seen of the gameplay really looks big. Again, there's no other way to describe what you're going to get other than just absurd, explosive action with huge weapons against hordes of enemies. There's just something really specific to how Serious Sam does it. This is a series that has worn its Doom and Quake influences on its sleeve, but also kind of goes like, what if Duke Nukem really went insane? They're fun games, and I'm stoked they're coming back. I'm excited for it, personally. Serious Sam 4 is coming sometime during August. They haven't actually given us a day yet, but it's coming to PC and Stadia. For over-the-top action, this is where you gotta go this month. At number 2 is Wasteland 3, the newest in the series that actually inspired Fallout itself. Wasteland 3 is set in post-apocalyptic Colorado, which is apparently quite frozen. The team that developed this game also did Torment Tides of Numenera, and in truth, I think it's very promising looking. You essentially are going to be building a squad, building a base, and this game promises to let you answer the question, will you be Colorado's savior or its worst nightmare? I'm intrigued as to what kind of story they're intending to tell, and of course I'm down for a squad-based strategy game from the series that inspired Fallout. Wasteland 3 is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on August 28th. And finally, at number 1 is the new Microsoft Flight Simulator, which we haven't had a new edition of in a very long time. This is a just flat-out beautiful looking game. It's hard to say anything else about how it looks. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But it also incorporates a lot of map data that Microsoft has access to, claiming to basically give us the ability to fly around the world in an accurate fashion. And I like the sound of that. That sounds like a lot of fun to me. It's been a long time since I've played a flight simulator game, though. I have to say that. It's not paced like your average game. It's really trying to make an accurate-to-life flight simulation. But I'm pretty much of the mind that sounds good. That sounds like a lot of fun to me, actually. There's a lot of aspiring pilots out there I think would agree as well. Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming to the PC on August 18th. Couple of bonus games for you as well. Scully first. which is essentially kind of a rolling, momentum-based platformer, which also gives you the ability to transform into various monsters with different abilities, which actually does look like a fairly intriguing title with its own style to it. There's not a lot of platformers that really manage that nowadays. And then, of course, RPG Maker MZ is also coming this month. If you're interested in making your own full-blown JRPG, this is probably the easiest but most flexible way to do it, and it allows you to do it in a manner that gives you not only like traditional controls, but you could export to a smartphone, do it with touch controls. I mean, it's a good package of stuff if you're interested in making an RPG. What are you guys gonna play or do this month as far as games? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We're uploading brand new videos every single day, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription, so click subscribe, and don't forget to enable all notifications. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter @FalconTheHero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.